Hello, everybody. Welcome back to my channel, Media Picker. My name is Brandon. If you're new here, this channel is me about reselling part-time media online for a profit. Today I have another part of a series. This is Cassettes Worth a Lot of Money, number 4. I'm going to go over various cassettes and price points and stuff, and just kind of show you, point out things as to the reason why they're worth a lot of money. And also, I think some of the stuff can be found. I actually do have some of the stuff, however, in used condition, not new. Obviously, new and scarcity of it are going to be the main driving factors in value. Also, certain genres I'll point out and mention throughout this video of ones to kind of key in on also. Go ahead and get started here. I think I have 17 I pulled. Just kind of go over these real quick here. I'm going from highest to lowest and just kind of show you various price points and artists and just certain things to kind of look out for if you're looking for cassettes to resell. So I'm going to get started here. I'll share my screen. So first up, we have Blink-182 Cheshire Cat. This is first press. This is actually the reason why this is worth so much money is because it's pre-Blink-182. They were just called Blink. And so there were releases of this also on CD. The CD version of this also has value. It does not have $2,000 value. But the CD, I think, can go for $100 or so at least if it just has Blink on it. So every time I go thrift stores and stuff and record stores, I will search and look just to see because maybe someone made a mistake and don't have the rare one. I believe this is actually for a used copy. Yeah, it looks like it's pretty beat up actually for $2,000. Pretty crazy, but yes, this did sell for $1,995. 43 bids on auction. Definitely one that you want to auction if you come across. Actually, I think I pulled the 182 version of this too, which actually does have a lot of value too. So we'll probably come across that in just a moment here. I'm going to mention these. I think this is a stupid concept, but I mean, it is what it is, and people are going to buy it. Grading cassettes, you can grade DVDs, VHS tapes, CDs can be graded now. Also, it's never ending. It's money grabs, obviously. Would there be something I'd possibly grade to resell? It depends on what it is and the condition. If it's worthwhile and there's sold comps where I can make $500-$600 profit off it, then yeah, I might. Grading is like $50 to $75 a pop for these cassettes or CDs, if I'm not mistaken, depending on which companies you go through. There's a handful of them. Not sure which ones are the most reputable. My guess is they probably all aren't the greatest. But this one, Dr. Dre The Chronic, this is an iconic album. This was brand new seal and was graded 9. We'll look at this a little bit closer. So we're going to look at the grading possibly on this if we can. So this is AMG Audio Media Grading. Near mint 9. On the back, it might mention the imperfections. We'll take a peek at that. So you get it sent off, and then it takes, weeks or months to get back, and we'll put it in this protective hard case and all that for the money you're paying. So if we go a little bit closer, it just says reissue, has their little thing, probably a code there, QR code to where they'll link it to show you what the details are. Nothing mentioned. I've seen some grading where it tells you like the imperfections on it or whatever on the back, but this one does not for some reason. But as you can see, it comes in a pretty thick protective case, and the thing collectors are weird. I've seen CD collectors and cassette collectors. I'm a member of tons of groups on Facebook, and they will just collect stuff and not play it. Just collect it to collect it. I mean, so collectors are pretty finicky in what they do. I know there's a lot of guys, especially in cassettes, I've noticed, where they just have, here's my pictures of my stuff. They're all sealed. And people are like, why? So to each their own, I guess. So there's a market for it, obviously, if it's sold for $1,500. So, I mean, more power to you if you can do it. Here's the Blink-182 I was talking about. This is where it says 182. The first one only just said Blink. Again, you can still get $1,000 for it. So just these 3 little numbers, about $1,000 difference. Pretty crazy. This one's pretty interesting. It's rare. Katie Hudson. She's also known as Katy Perry. This is a rare sealed. Must be an initial release. $7.99. It sold for hundreds. I don't know exactly what it sold for, but it sold for hundreds of dollars. Let's zoom in a little bit back on this too if I track listing here. So there's a tracks around this. Obviously, nothing that I see that was re-released as K Perry down the line. 2001. You want to look for later releases for cassettes because of the scarcity of them. So, for example, Alanis Morissette, Jagged Little Pill, which came out I think in 98 or 99, on CD it's worth like 50 cents. On cassette, it's like $5 to $10, give or take. It's because of the scarcity. Cassettes was kind of dwindling down at that point, and CDs were more taking off at that point. So there weren't as many printed on cassettes as there were obviously manufactured on CDs. But anyway, kind of just fine. It's the late 90s, early 2000s. You want to look up certain stuff on artists because they do have some value. This one I've seen consistently between $200 and $500 all day for new copies, and that would be Snoop Dogg's Doggy Style, another iconic rap album that came out in the early 90s. On CD, this is not really worth a whole lot. It's worth a few bucks. On cassette, it's worth a crap ton, $500. Kind of same along these lines also. Nirvana, Nevermind, again, another iconic album. 91 release. This is obviously grunge. $300, brand new sealed. People, these are ones that people would probably send off to get graded, honestly. But if you're paying $300, your buy cost is already pretty high in that case. But anyway, Nirvana, right? Used, even this goes for a little bit. So definitely pick it up if you can find it cheap enough. I might have this in my pile to sell. There's a couple of Metallica. I have a stack full that I bought a couple years ago. I haven't even touched them yet. So I have to listen to them and go through them. They're used. Cassettes. They're metal. It's like Slayer, Metallica, Megadeth. There's some hard rock and stuff kind of mixed in there also. Hair metal mixed in and stuff that's got some pretty good value. And I haven't looked at it. It's buried behind all my CDs. I still got a list. That's why it just kind of sat there in the back burner. I probably need to pull it out and start looking through some of these and at least trying to test them. This one's $300. I think I might have this to sell. I don't know. Good condition. See, they don't even mention if they test them, which I think is kind of annoying. I test all mine. I think they might have. All sales are final. No, not necessarily. Thing rank where he's pretty detailed. Doesn't mention if it's tested, does it? Is Ryan Success 41 years old, milestone album? Why would you not test it? Anyway, so again, Metallica, Slayer, those type of stuff on cassettes, heavy metal, thrash metal. The heavier the metal, like you starting with the black metal, death metal, the more money it's worth. It's just how it is because there's less and less printed. Another one that I have used copies of, new I do not. Obviously, this is extremely valuable because it is brand new and sealed. I think this is something you could probably find out in the wild, new old stock from someplace, or maybe find it a lot cheaper where you can flip it for some good mix. That's $200 right there for a brand new sealed copy, which is pretty crazy. One you wouldn't think would be worth that much, even sealed, but it is. This one I pulled because I wanted to point out this artist, Mac Dre. It's hip hop, it's rap, mid 90s, maybe early 2000s. Cassette or CD, this guy stuff generally is worth quite a bit. I sold a CD of his. I paid like $1 and change for an eBay bulk CD lot buy, and I sold that thing for $80. So look out for Mac Dre just in general, regardless of what format it's on. Definitely look up this artist because there's value there with a lot of stuff. Another one that's sealed that you wouldn't think is worth a lot of money, Breakfast Club soundtrack. It's an iconic soundtrack. It's also an iconic movie from the mid-'80s. Again, if you find this stuff sealed, even used, it's worth probably a few bucks, but brand new sealed, $112.50, which is pretty crazy. Obviously, I'm sure these are going to collectors that are paying this kind of money for it. This one was I think this is an anomaly. I don't think this is worth that much. In fact, I think I have this also. I think I have it in my collection. Dokken Under the Lock and Key. This is actually my favorite Dokken album. Just a great solid album from top to bottom if you're interested in checking it out. It's hair metal. Dokken lead singer George Lynch on guitar. Unchained the Night, The Hunter, In My Dreams, which I believe was on Nightmare on Elm Street 4 soundtrack, if I'm not mistaken. It's Not Love, which is my favorite song by them. Just a great band. I don't know why this one's worth so much. I threw it in here just it seemed kind of odd. So if you have some Dokken, definitely check it out. Dokken's worth some money used. Not a ton, but you'll make money off it. You can get them for $1 a piece. Slipknot self-titled. US edition, $108. This is a used copy also. So again, if you come across the metal in cassette format, definitely look them up because they're worth probably quite a bit of money. I've seen a lot of stuff from this artist as I was kind of skimming through these. A lot of stuff more higher price than this. I've also mentioned this artist in a previous video or two. Chelino Sanchez. If you see anything from this artist, look it up because it's got value. There's quite a bit of money involved in this art for some reason. I don't know if it's just a scarcity or I'm at a loss on this one. My guess is probably scarcity, but other than that, this is worth quite a bit, and that's new or used. If I'm not mistaken. Yes, this is like new, and it was tested. But anyway, I'll keep it out for this artist. Punk again. The heavier you go into the rock and metal, NoFX, Punk, and Drublick. 94 tested rare. This is a used copy. $95 basically. I feel like this is something that can be found also maybe someone selling a collection on Facebook or whatever, they're like a couple bucks a piece. Definitely worth booking into those lots that you see on Facebook and eBay to try and see and pinpoint ones that you can see that are worth quite a bit of money. I'm leery though when I buy cassettes, and the reason why is because you don't know how many are going to work. There's always 10 to 15 to 20% of a lot that you buy is not going to work, and it's not resellable. And if you're counting on a couple of those that actually work out and that have value that you looked up and you bid on it and they're not worth anything because they don't work, then you're kind of screwed. So it's more of a crapshoot when buying cassettes in lots. So just an FYI. Again, here's another one that I might also have in my pile to resell. Metallica Master of Puppets cassette. 1986 release, used copy. Looks pretty beat up, honestly. As you can see the fading there along the left side of the front cover of the artwork there on the J card. Cases are scratched up, obviously, and all that, but cassette would probably be scratched up also, I would assume, just from play. Let's just zoom in a little bit closer on that. That actually looks to be in pretty good shape. I would assume they probably tested it. I'd test anything, and especially high dollar stuff. I'm testing it. Acceptable condition. So the condition's not great, obviously, at all. But again, $90. I gotta get through those cassettes. Maybe I got some gems in there. I know I got a few. Again, I have this used in a pile of Madonna cassettes I need to sell. Used, not worth a whole lot. Worth a few bucks. New, $84.50. This is a pretty common cassette. If you can find it sealed for a cheap price, pick it up. I mean, it's out there. I've seen tons of these. And last but not least, I just threw. We already saw Dr. Dre sealed. It sold for, I think, what was it, $500? Now we're seeing Dr. Dre used for $70. Again, iconic album, early '90s hip hop. Rap cassettes are worth a lot of money too, so definitely something you want to look out for. Doesn't really matter the artist in that case, for the most part. But anyway, that's it. That's 17 I just showed you. Cassettes there worth some money. If you got anything out of this, please consider subscribing to the channel. Click the like button, which also does help me out. Click the bell for future notifications of other videos just like this. And I will see you guys all in the next one. Bye, everybody.